How did it all go, and how did it kind of shape where you've gotten, and how is that all going to come together into where you're trying to go? I had one more audio button I had to push. I wasn't even audio live on YouTube. Oops, but I think I got everything fixed now. Shoot me a message on the call in case I didn't get it to work. So hopefully you took that time during the break to reflect on where you were, what got you here at this moment in time, and what you want to get out of the year ahead. Nothing is going to happen by accident. Nothing is the only thing that's going to happen if you don't have any intention behind it, right? That might be the most profound thing I have to share with you this morning. I'm just kidding, but think about that for a second. Nothing is going to happen by accident. And nothing is going to happen if you don't have any intention behind it. So your intention by being here with me today, either on the call or on YouTube or wherever you find us, is already a victory in 2026. I already want you to think about that and give yourself that pat on the back, that thumbs up, that gold star from elementary school, whatever it is. Your intention to be here right now is already giving yourself the smallest initial victory in 2026. Now, if you know someone that needs a reminder that we're back into routine, send them the phone number. Share with them the YouTube link. Text them, wake them up, and remind them that we are back on schedule and this year has officially started in all shapes, forms, and fashions. So today, I'm going to share with you what was supposed to be 6 ways that we're going to accomplish optimization and maximization in 2026. But I think I only had enough time for like 4 of them. So you'll hear the remainder on Tuesday. Tuesday, you will not be able to watch us on YouTube. You'll have to listen in, as we will only be available on the free conference call phone number. So if you don't have it, reach out to me and I'll make sure to share that with you as well. So again, today I'm going to share with you, I think, 4 of the 6 ways that we're going to accomplish optimization and maximization in 2026. And then the back half of today's conversation, we have a featured co-host that will share his thoughts, his perspectives, and his plans on how he will optimize and maximize 2026. And as I've already said plenty of times before, we're live on YouTube, as we will always be on Mondays going forward, unless something crazy happens. We're here on the conference call as we've been for years. But don't forget, if you catch our content on YouTube or Facebook, interact with the content so YouTube and Facebook shows it to more people. Now, let's get this year started together. Now, I can truthfully tell you, I'm more excited to start 2026 than pretty much most other Januaries before. There's been plenty of Januaries where the year turned over and I thought to myself, there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting as we have to turn distribution from one place to the next. I've entered plenty of Januaries before where I thought to myself, there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting because a bunch of yahoos decided to disappear. Now I'm going to have to put this thing back together. I can truthfully tell you that we are in a far more stable and solid place going into this year than in many years before. And that's one of the reasons I can say in full truth and honesty that I'm excited to be here with you today. Now, of course, there are going to be plenty of challenges in 2026. Don't think I'm telling you that's not going to happen. There are going to be plenty of challenges this year, and there are going to be plenty of situations that you saw coming. In some situations, you're like, I didn't see that coming at all. This is outrageous. How is this thing happening to me? There's going to be things that happen that always happen. You know, people that come in to the industry, come into the agency, and then disappear into the history books of final expense. That's going to happen. There's going to be things that are wildly successful and things that you say to yourself, that didn't work. All these things are going to happen this year, just like they've happened before. But this year, we have a foundation unlike anything ever before. We have a foundation that's going to allow us to forge ahead far more successfully, and here it is, far more optimized and far more maximized than you've ever seen before. Now, some of you are thinking, all right, what practical application does this have to me as the personal producer looking to make enough money to pay February's mortgage, March's rent, or whatever necessary things I'm already a week behind? I know there's people here thinking that too, right? Well, I've got for you at least 4 of the 6 ways that you can optimize and maximize your business for 2026 as well. Ready? So here's the first one. As you witnessed right now, and as we tested over the course of December, our Monday trainings are going to remain live on YouTube and the conference call line as we've been doing already. Eventually, I'm going to figure out how to connect a little bit more technology, and maybe you can watch in Zoom or something as well. But we're going to continue to broadcast what we do for a couple key reasons. First, this will allow the usual crowd to continue to rewatch and re-listen to content that maybe they connected with but couldn't find easily to rewatch again. Next, it's going to give you an opportunity to share our content with more individuals and help more people out there. And what else is this going to do to help you? Well, this is one of the most intangible things you probably didn't think about unless you felt it before. Sharing what we do with other people attracts other people, and new talent brings a new excitement and a new fire that fuels growth in ways that once you feel it and you see it taking place, you don't want to miss it. Heck, maybe you're going to hear something or feel something or want to share something and embrace the uncomfortable nature of getting live on camera and joining me to do it. Whatever it is, we're going to continue to broadcast Mondays live and Fridays as well. Now, of course, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be reserved and only on the conference call line going for a little bit longer. But you'll also be able to watch Fridays, just like Mondays, going forward in 2026. Now, let's get even more practical. You're thinking to yourself, that's nice. I like to listen. I like to watch. Give me some more stuff that's going to help me optimize and maximize my 2026. Well, number two, we're going to continue or focus even more intentionally on scaling with structure and systems. Over the course of the break period, I didn't do a lot of intentional work on the business intentionally, but I realized there's a lot of really good technology out there that can help us better keep track of the things that slip through the cracks. There's a program called Monday.com that I've warmed up our VA team into looking at, practicing with, setting up their access to, because we're going to be able to use tools like that to give transparent access into things that need to be done. I'm going to work on both tech ways and physical ways to write stuff down and make sure it gets done. Systems and structure is what allows things to scale. Obviously, we all know this, right? Anybody can take a set of leads, a carrier contract, and a desire to make money and stumble their way into 3 applications per week. Anybody can do that. But how do you elevate your business, optimize your business, and maximize the time that you have? It's with structure and systems. We're going to optimize our activity with the CRM, automations, and even AI. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to scale itself throughout the agency, but some of you have already heard it, listened to it, maybe you've caught information about it out there from other sources. We're going to embrace it because while we might have been behind the curve in other things, we're not going to be behind the curve when it comes to automations and AI to help scale and provide structure and systems to both the agency and the personal producer. What else is that going to allow you to do? Well, with proper systems and structure to your business, you're going to be able to invest the money into that, but the investment of the money into that is going to buy back time and increase your ROI and increase the lifetime value of the initial client acquisition. That's a foreign thought to a lot of final expense agents out there. That's a foreign concept to a lot of agencies out there that are just worried about churning and burning through the producer, through the leads, and through the clients. But what if we took a realization that the initial client acquisition was a massive opportunity with the right technology and the right systems and the right structure to increase the ROI and lifetime value of that senior that you've written a policy on, or whoever you wrote the policy for? We're going to continue to support and scale the remote sales side like never before. We're playing catch up on that, I'm going to be honest, but we're going to do it better than a lot of places have done before. Right now in the remote sales CRM are, I kid you not, hundreds of fresh Facebook leads ready and available to agents in our remote platform. Hundreds, thousands of leads from the past, from my archives and from final expense producers that have failed out in the past have been loaded into that platform as well. and provide an unparalleled access to agents that want to sell remote. Okay, what about someone that wants to sell from the field? Going to get to that in just a minute. But how else do you take intentional use in structure and systems? Well, it isn't just AI. It isn't just technology. It's also the human capital, the humans, the people that we have in our VA team available to help you grow. Think about it this way. The VA team isn't just an appointment setting team. Think about it a completely different way. If you were a business, because you are, and you hired staff, you wouldn't look at that staff as something that cost your business money, right? No, you would look at the staff that your business hired as a way to scale, grow, and expand your business. When a restaurant owner hires servers and kitchen staff and a host and somebody to clean up after everybody, they don't look at it as something that costs their restaurant money. They look at it as a way to bring more customers into their business. So our VA team isn't just a team of appointment setters, but it's a partner to increase profitability. They don't cost you money. They make you money. No successful business adds employees and just looks at it as a way that it costs them money. They look at their staff as a partner and a resource and an ability to scale. They look at it as a way to buy back time. No business owner that I've seen or I've known or I've gotten on a boat with or been to an event with works at their restaurant 24 hours a day, maybe 10 of them. But some of those days, their staff handles what needs to be done so they can buy back the time that being a business owner provides. So don't be afraid to spend the money and invest the money, because it doesn't cost you money, but it optimizes and it maximizes your business. Now, number 3, and then I got a story to share, and then our next speaker is going to be joining me as well. So stay on all the way till 9:30. Every minute you're here with me, I guarantee you're going to hear something that's going to help you make more money in 2026. Number 3, we're going to recognize the power of strength in numbers, and recognize the power of strengthening relationships, recognizing the power of continuing to seek to be the most competitive agent and agency with our clients. And we're going to provide that through a couple different ways. We work in an ever-changing market, right? Carriers are coming, carriers are going. Medicare, constant hurricane of what's happening this week versus the next. It's a constantly shifting market. I learned over the course of break that one of our old school, well-known and well-loved carriers is kind of finding their way back into the market and might even find their way back into our portfolio. We'll see. The market is constantly changing. We're going to work in an ever-changing market to continue to make sure, as I've always promised and we've always practiced, to be the most competitive agent in the home or on the phone. I'll continue to make sure that we have access to every single product that doesn't completely suck. What does that mean? Well, some things suck just simply because they don't have the right process, they don't have the right this or the right that, or the product just has no point in it all. But we're going to continue to make sure that you are the most competitive agent in the home or on the phone. We're going to make sure that we continue to protect the agency from bad business, bad actors, and not necessarily bad people, but people that are taking things in a direction that lead to debt and disability and things that just slow other people's growth down. I was thinking over the course of break, as I'm looking at ways to optimize and maximize the year, that while this isn't essentially practical or on script, negativity can be so infectious that strengthening and protecting the core parts of what's here is so important. I remember spending time over the course of maybe a year or two ago looking at job boards. And it wasn't that I wasn't making money. It wasn't that I wasn't bringing in talent. It wasn't that everything wasn't working correctly, but that I was allowing negativity to spread into my business from somebody else I had allowed into the business. So we're going to strengthen what we have here and protect ourselves from the kind of bad actors that drag other people down. We're going to continue to value the honesty, the truth, and a desire for you to write your personal success story, whatever that is. Your success doesn't have to be mine, doesn't have to be our next speakers, doesn't have to be John Washoe's or Heartland's or Senior Resource Group or what Old American or SNL wants for you. Your success story has to be what you individually have thought out, written out, and worked to implement each day, and that you strengthen what protects that from things that would tear it apart. So what are the first 3 things I have to share with you this morning on how we're going to optimize and maximize this year? We're going to continue to take our training that we do 250 plus times a year live more often than ever before. We're going to push hard to scale with structure and systems. And we're going to continue to make sure that you are the most competitive, independent life and health agent that your clients will ever get the opportunity to speak to. All without making it too complicated, because simple is still incredibly important. Now, I got a story to share with you before we get to our next speaker, and I think it speaks a lot to what we're talking about here today in optimization and maximization, but just humanity in the first place. So during my trip that my wife and I had booked over the course of the last couple of days, thankfully, we didn't get stuck in the Caribbean, although I don't think that would be much of a sad thing to say. Oh no, stuck in the Caribbean. Oops. I mean, it's okay that it didn't happen to us, but I don't really feel bad for people stuck in Aruba. Somebody's going to comment and say, my kid was sick while I was stuck in Aruba. I'm kidding. It's not bad to get stuck on an island. Okay. During our trip, we went on an excursion, and it was marketed and advertised as a snorkeling trip and a hike over Dunn's River Falls. Sounds like fun, right? I've been on a total of now 3 snorkeling trips. Pretty fun. You dive into the water, you get a little floaty thing up the mask, you look at fish. It's fun. And a hike around Dunn's River Falls sounds like fun. Doesn't seem stressful, doesn't seem exhausting. Okay, let's do it. And the boat takes you there, drinking, fun, music. Yeah, sounds like a great time, right? Most snorkeling excursions are easy. Like I just said, you jump off of a boat, you swim around, the water's warm, there's someone there to make sure that you don't drown. You look at a bunch of fish that look like they were on Nemo. Great time. No one told us, and I promise you it wasn't in the description, that included a 2-mile swim around the water. Didn't say that. Didn't mean that the guide was going to swim in a 2-mile circumference back to the boat. Okay, I can keep up with that. As you guys know, I go to the gym twice a week. I'm not going to drown. I've got a little floaty thing on me. But nobody said this consisted with a 2-mile swim. All right. So we get back on the boat, and we get on the boat. The boat drives or rides about 20 minutes up to Dunn's River Falls, and then they begin to give you the kind of directions you're thinking to yourself, what did I actually sign up for? The directions in their Jamaican accent included things like, don't bring your hat. Why? Don't bring your phone. Seems reasonable. Don't bring anything that you would be upset losing. Okay. I mean, that seems like reasonable directions, right? Well, soon found out what those directions were actually implying. What wasn't clear to anybody on the boat at that moment was that the next part of our excursion wasn't a calm walk near a waterfall, wasn't the kind of hike you would take in the Puerto Rican water rainforest. It wasn't a sightseeing experience. It was a nearly 2-mile hike over and inside of Dunn's River Falls. What? Oh, okay. Now, here's where we're getting practical with this one. The fall guides placed us in groups of about 15 people. I can tell you I knew one of those people. The guide told us to line up and hold hands with the stranger to your right and to your left. Is this a church circle? Like, is this some sort of healing event that's taking place? What exactly is happening right now? I don't know. Okay. But as this is taking place, I'm looking ahead and I'm seeing other groups of about 15 begin this hike up a waterfall. I've watched enough movies. I've done enough planning to think to myself, I'm going to hold hands with somebody far younger and far stronger than me. And I'm not going to judge the fact that that's probably going to be a dude. Okay, so I do. Grab hands with stranger to my right, wife to my left. And as we all begin to walk up holding hands, a waterfall, I mean, I can't describe it to you in the best way I can. I don't know if pictures can do it justice. I don't know if there's YouTube content that will show it to you, but it's hard to describe. Interestingly enough, though, nobody fell. Nobody slipped. Nobody died. By no means would this be a legal excursion in America, but nobody left the excursion injured. Again, pictures don't do it justice. Maybe you could find a YouTube video that explains it. But behind the experience that I'm trying to share with you today, what's interesting and what I want to take away from that is not a single person in that group attempted to scale this alone. Not a single person that got off the boat didn't get back on the boat. Not a single local or other person visiting Dunn's River Falls attempted to scale the falls without a guide. Now, again, I don't think this kind of excursion would be legal in the US. And I don't exactly know if I would ever do anything like that again. But of all the countless people trying and climbing, not a single person I witnessed got hurt. But in our industry, here I'm going to come full circle for just a moment before we get to our featured speaker. There are countless people in our industry attempting to climb and scale this industry alone. Now, this doesn't require you to scale a waterfall, doesn't require you to swim 2 miles, but a lot of the things that we do are actually harder. We're not trying to find a rock or the right place to put your hand or your foot. We're not slipping in the water or getting lost in a waterfall or wherever that really was. But the groups in this industry, the agencies, the individuals that lock arms and unify and work with guides get to where they're trying to go. See, the real power here is facing a challenge and refusing to turn back. Whatever that challenge is that comes to your door this year, once you started on that waterfall hike, there really was no turning back. Like maybe close to eventually the top, you could have exited a little bit. But once we had gotten about 15 minutes, maybe even 5 minutes from where we started, there was no turning back. The real power in what I'm describing to you today in our industry and our agency is the power of community and what a few people can do when they lock hands, even if that means locking hands with a far taller, stronger, and younger individual stranger. The power is knowing that you can fight through your fears, trust the guides in business and in life around you, and the power in purpose, the power it unlocks when you achieve that together. So I went a little bit longer than normal, but I'm going to make sure we have plenty of time to sit with our featured speaker. Texas, have you ever scaled a waterfall anywhere like I was just scaling over a few days ago?
No, I have not. And tell me you can hear me okay? I'm trying to slightly.
I can hear you live on my laptop. Give me a quick second to make sure I can hear you on the conference call line. Okay, you're also live on Free Conference Call HD. Have you, sir, ever scaled a waterfall unknowing to you that it was just supposed to be an excursion?
No. I would. That's a question I probably would have had to call them and ask beforehand. I'm like, hey, will there be anything out of the ordinary going on this adventure? So.
Yes. Now, the girl did say as we scaled under a bridge, and that bridge itself didn't look very safe. There were cars driving above it, Dom. Nowhere in the description did it say this. She says, I called them. I booked this a few days ago. They said this was an 800-foot walk, not 800 feet up. Okay, it was not in the description, that's for sure. But before we run out of time, we're going to go at least until 9:35 this morning and not a minute longer. I'm going to shut up, and I'm going to let you share what your thoughts are on optimizing and maximizing 2026.
Gotcha. So you actually touched on a few of them, but and I wanted to make this friendly for remote and for telesales. Obviously, my experience is in remote, but we touch base with enough people in telesales. I have 5 ways, so I'm going to have to be concentrated on this. Before I get into the 5 ways, I do want to say I heard an interesting stat just yesterday. Last year, 50% of Americans didn't read 2 books. So if you read 3 books this year, you will read more than half of all Americans. Just something to throw out there. I'm just letting you know you can get ahead of half of all people by reading 3 books this year. What are the top 5 ways that a final expense agent can optimize their business this year, right? And I took into account how a lot of people tend to move in our business. You touched on one of them already, which was automations. CRM with automations to keep in touch with your clients. You may have heard people talk about it. You may have seen people saying like, oh, I'm going to do it, or oh, that sounds nice, or oh, not in my business, right? But that's great for them. And I came up with a few very practical things that you can focus on when you're doing the CRM and the automations. And mind you, you don't have to do it. You can go into a CRM similar to Agent CRM where they're already doing this. All you got to do is click a few buttons or hop on a support call and they'll set it up. Payment reminders for the first year, right? So payment reminders are going to be helpful to reduce chargebacks. They create an additional touch point of contact with your client each month. I literally had, I tested it out with just a few of the new policies this month. And guess what? A lady responded and said, oh, okay, great. Thank you for the reminder. Like, I'm like, whoa, like I saw this lady like 3 weeks ago, and she's like, great. So that's going to help reduce chargebacks. It at least puts it on their mind so they don't go spend all their money and just forget all about it. Birthday messaging, right? You can automate that birthday message maybe 1 or 2 days before their birthday. Fantastic. Some of these people will not get any messages on their birthday. Not even their kids are going to text them or call them. So imagine when their agent texts them or calls them or emails them. Automate holiday messaging. That one's a little bit heavier lift, but Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, Memorial Day, Labor Day, 4th of July. Again, I mean, you're the only person touching base with them, right? Or have it go out the day before. Um, AI appointment setting. Now, this one may be a bit more for telesales because I know when you're in the field, right? Getting to the door, they know you're coming, all that. You're driving, it isn't always easy. But again, like you said, you can't be working in your business 24 hours a day. And sometimes you're not at a level to go hire a bunch of employees. But especially for telesales, if you've got a piece of code that's running all the time, talking to your clients, reaching out, that's ready to answer the moment they text in. These clients will text or call you whenever, right? So that person, that code is always ready to have a response and will always be trying to book them into an appointment. Also, the automations allow you to stay in front of your older leads. As agents, our solution is always go buy more leads. It's always go, let me go and just get more leads. Let me get in front of the newer leads. We're not thinking about that person who submitted a form 45 days ago, 90 days ago, 4 or 5 months ago. So anyway, that, and then cross-sell automations. Imagine you got an automation. You just, when you're talking to the person, you finish up that call or you finish with that client, you make a note on your paperwork and you just say Medicare or you say cancer policy or whatever it is. And now you've got an automation that's going to text them 30 days out. They've had the policy, they've made the first payment, they've got their paperwork from you, they're feeling good. And now it's like, hey, you mentioned a cancer policy. Did you want to do that? But it's automated. You're not texting them. It's just crazy to me. If your CRM, and this is the quotable to hopefully it sticks. If your CRM isn't talking to your clients automatically, you're working harder than you need to. The sale isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. Okay, that's number one. Number two is pretty easy. You've been beating this horse and it's not dead yet. It's just getting started. Cross-sell Medicare, indemnity, term for their adult children and children's policies. I had one sale last week. One. And it was a lady looking for coverage for her children. That was it. I had all these leads come in. I did call a few of them. They were like, oh, call me Monday, do this, do that. This lady was like, no, I need this coverage and I need it, like, we need it done. So again, but imagine if I didn't have that skill set. Medicare, and I'll just say this, one client can be worth $800 or they can be worth $8,000 over time. 800 or 8,000, you decide. Next, learn remote sales to supplement your business if you're not already doing remote. So if you're face-to-face right now, learning remote sales allows you to save some additional drive time or windshield time. You've mentioned it multiple times, Chris. Make sure that you are allowing, sorry, I got this new device here. Make sure that you are touching base with your clients. And guess what? When they need something, they just want to add an additional $5,000 or $10,000 of coverage. Guess what? You can pull over on the side of the road or say, hey, let me give you a call back in 15 minutes. And you look and say, okay, they're an hour away from where I'm at right now. Or you could just spend 15, 20 minutes getting it done. You've got their information. You'll ask for the sensitive pieces, boom, and it's done. So driving time is dead time, unnecessary driving time, I should say. Phone time compounds, right? So now they know, oh, okay, he doesn't have to come back out. Next time I need something, I'll just give him a call, right? Now it seems efficient, right? And then when you're in their area, if you want to stop in, say hi, say, hey, I was in the area, knock on the door, talk to them for a few minutes, absolutely. But you're not having to stop in, do a whole appointment or reroute your day. So learning that, and really it's just learning how the signatures are done. If you're already doing telesales, then the key to this year is getting more pickups or scheduled appointments. It's packing your calendar with more talk time. If you worked in a call center or sales ever, they would say talk time is the number one thing this year. So packing out your schedule, having more actual time with clients where you're presenting or going over things, that's the key to actually getting more sales. 4, route planning for face-to-face agents. I know many probably already do this, but having a planned out route and getting every single direct lead you've ever had that didn't tell you to kick rocks or I'll shoot you if you show up at this door again in a CRM where you've got a map view and you can see everybody within a certain like radius. that's going to be massive. I mean, really massive. The agent who's more efficient, like, is going to win this year. If you're in telesales, lead scoring is something I'm actually working on. There are agencies that do it. So instead of just calling all your new leads that come in, right? Or say, okay, I'm going to call through the last 2 weeks of leads. Some leads are hotter than others. You got people that are texting you back. They're opening your emails. They're clicking on your links, right? They're just not calling or texting you maybe. But guess what? That's somebody who's interested, right? They're clicking, they're researching, they're doing something. Their name keeps popping up, right? You see an activity, that's a person, that's a hot lead. You need to put them top of the schedule in the morning. Calling back those inbound calls that you missed over the weekend or late at night whenever the client tried to call you. Organization, I saw this quote, organization is an income skill. Organization is an income skill. The same leads worked in a better order produce more sales. Right? It's a reason why face-to-face agent, right? Somebody calls and's like, hey, I got this referral. Sometimes you'll drop other, right, scheduled things and go to that. So again, organization, income skill, the same leads worked in a better order, produce more sales. Last but not least, this is for telesales and face-to-face. Automating thank you letters or other physical mail showing other services that you offer, referral programs, etc. Automating it. Now, there'll be a debate. Some people like to handwrite it. Some people had their wife write it, whatever it is, whatever your system is. But having physical mail, face-to-face agents already know this. You got that client through direct mail. You got them through direct mail. They clearly appreciate something. These same people are probably also on Facebook, some of them. But guess what? What caught their eye or what appealed to them was the direct mail. So drop more mail to them. And now, instead of blanketing the whole area and getting a 1% response rate, you got this list of however many clients. If you have 20 clients over the course of this month and you drop, you say, okay, I'm going to do a mail drop for the last 6 months. You're only dropping, 120 pieces of mail. But guess what? It's hyper targeted mail. I don't know about you, but you're telling me if that can't make back the money you spend on the mail, then I don't know what you're doing, right? And yes, the first time may not be as effective, but after they get mail from you a second time and they get a third time, and everything we talked about before, imagine you're automating some of that in physical mail, birthdays, all holidays, all of that. And then I know we're running out of time, so this is the last thing I'll say. The agents who win long term are the ones remembered. So many agents talk about older agents who've been in this a long time, say that somebody thought they were out of business because they hadn't heard from them. Okay, none of the things we just talked about require more leads. None of these require working more hours. They just require better systems around the business that we're already doing and already have. The agents who win this year won't be the ones who just buy more leads. They'll be the ones who build systems that keep paying them after the sale. Hopefully that was valuable, Chris.
I had a call yesterday while I was at the gas station on the way out for the weekend or for Sunday, and Charlotte answered the phone. Charlotte is our voice AI that is going to be taking this agency by storm. Charlotte talked to the client yesterday, and Charlotte is never angry. Charlotte's not upset that it's Sunday. Charlotte didn't send the person a voicemail, but the person did say, Dom, is Chris Smith alive? Because I hadn't answered, and my voicemail even said it, but Charlotte said back, Chris Smith is alive, Melvin. He'll be away until the 5th, but he'll call you back after that. This year is an amazing opportunity to optimize, to maximize, and to make more money and buy back more time, because a business owner has both time, money, and a real life outside of everything they put into their business. Let's get this year started together, and we'll see you back on the conference call line only tomorrow morning.